Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deepa Barar and I'm here to inspire you all to live a deeply beautiful life. So you might notice that we're in a bit of a different setting right now. We moved recently, so welcome to our new place. In today's video, we are going to do something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about how to stop your hair from breaking off. Now, most of our videos talk about how to prevent it from falling out or how to get it to regrow. But this one is for those of you that have hair that is actually breaking, so you're getting thin hair because it's damaged and you want to know how to get it to stop doing that. Now, before we get into all of the things that you can do to prevent your hair from breaking off, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can know exactly when I post my next video. So now that my hair has fully grown back in from the alopecia, I haven't been the most gentle with it. I've definitely been indulging in the bleaching and the hot tools and blow drying and stuff, and that has resulted in some pretty damaged hair, which is one of the reasons why I want to record this. But not only that, a lot of you have reached out about this actual topic, so I decided to do some research and I found some really great tips for you guys. So first, let's talk about breakage. Breakage and split ends, contrary to popular belief, are not the same thing. Split ends actually refer to the tips of your hair. You can actually see when you look at a strand of hair that it looks like it's splitting into two. Hair breakage, it can happen anywhere along the actual hair. And you can see it looks like a little white dot. That means that your hair is fractured in that spot. So what that ends up doing is gives your hair a little bit of a brittle straw-like appearance. Now this can happen to pretty much anyone, but it definitely happens more to people with longer hair just because there's more surface area for the fractures to occur. Now that we've cleared that all up and gotten that out of the way, let's get into the tips that you can use to prevent your hair from breaking off. So this very first tip is not going to be any surprise to you guys, but we're going to talk about diet. Now, I have stressed this so many times in my other videos on how to grow your hair. Diet is the #1 key when it comes to having long, beautiful, luscious, shiny, healthy hair. There are certain nutrients that actually help to grow your hair and to make them healthy. The key hair vitamins are iron, vitamin D, B12, and zinc. Now you can use supplements, but it's always best to find foods that are rich in these vitamins. Now focusing on getting your protein in, your daily requirement of protein in, is pretty important as well because it helps to actually repair the weaker spots along your hair, which can prevent it from breaking. Your nutrients from your food will really reflect when it comes to your skin and your hair and your nails. The healthier that you can eat, the better your skin, hair, and nails will fare. Now the second one that we're going to talk about is, no big surprise, stress. Stress can affect our bodies in so many ways. So reducing your stress will actually really help to prevent your hair from breaking off, and especially from breaking off closer to the root. The key things to do when it comes to handling stress is to exercise and meditate. Those two things are the biggest things you can do to manage your stress. But if you want some more tips, I actually did a video on 8 tips on dealing with stress. Now the third tip is a lack of moisture in your hair. So this can be attributed to several different things. One of them being if it's just really dry in the air at that time of year. If you don't have a lot of humidity in the air, it can really dry out your hair. Also too, if you use super hot water when you take a shower and wash your hair, hot water can really strip your hair of moisture, so you want to maybe try warm water instead. Using shampoo on your scalp only will really help with that as well. You don't want to apply shampoo on the ends of your hair. All you really need to do is do the scalp, and then when you're rinsing it out, it'll wash away what's on your hair at the bottoms as well. And then also using a really good quality conditioner and doubling that up with a leave-in conditioner will really help too. Now, one of my favorite things to do when it comes to moisturizing your hair is to use a really good deep conditioner. And you want to do that about once a week or once every 2 weeks. And you want to make sure that you're investing in a really good one. Now, this next one is probably no surprise to you guys. It is using hot tools. Now hot tools, although we love to have beautiful curls, they can really damage your hair. So what you want to do is give your hair a break from curling, from flat ironing, from all that stuff every now and then. You don't want to be using these things every single day. You want to maybe try to use it once a week and like kind of milk that hairstyle if you can. Use some dry shampoo in between, or if you wash your hair twice a week, maybe skip using the hot tools, or what you can also do is use it at a lower heat setting. You don't always want to use it on the highest heat setting. Another hack is to invest in a ceramic hot tool. Ceramic, basically what it does is it distributes even heat throughout the whole entire tool, so that you're not concentrating, like there's not hot spots on that tool. And the thing about ceramic tools is that they're super efficient, so you don't have to hold them in your hair for too long, and you don't have to like go repeatedly over the same section a bunch of times. Also, this is something that I've been doing recently that I found has helped me so much with my hair to keep it like a little bit more healthy and stuff, is to use a heat protectant spray. Now I know you'll see a lot of these products out on the market and you think, oh, they're just like sort of extra products that the company's trying to sell to make money. No, not when it comes to heat protectant spray. It actually really does protect your hair from the higher temperatures when it comes to using hot tools. So it can prevent it from breaking and falling off. Also, when it comes to blow drying your hair, what you want to do is let your hair air dry for as long as you possibly can before you take the blow dryer to your hair. And another thing is that when you're using your round brush, maybe try not to go over that same section too many times, because that stretching will actually cause a little bit more breakage in your hair. So just try to be really gentle when it comes to blow drying your hair, and invest in a really good hair dryer that has ionic technology, which is going to help break up the water into smaller particles, and which will help your hair dry quicker. And as well, try to find one that has at least 2000 watts power. The less time that you can spend with the actual blow dry heat on your hair, the better. Now in this next tip, we are going to talk about chemical exposure when it comes to your hair. And I'm talking in particular about hair dye, hair bleaching, relaxing treatments, perming, whatever it is. All that stuff can really damage your hair. So the first thing that you want to do is try to extend the time that you go and repeatedly do these sessions. So just say you go to your hairstylist to get your hair dyed every 6 weeks. What you want to do is at first maybe try to extend that to 8 weeks, then try to extend it to 10 weeks. The least amount of chemicals that you can actually put into your hair, the better to keep it healthy. When you are over processing your hair and you keep exposing your hair to those chemicals, you are breaking the bonds in your hair. And there are actually a bunch of great products out there right now that help to rebuild broken bonds. And in particular, Olaplex is really good. You guys have probably already heard of that. I'm going to link a bunch of products that are really going to help you guys when it comes to keeping your hair from breaking off in the description box below. Now, if you're into chemical straightening or those Brazilian blowouts, you've probably heard that those aren't the best things in the world for you. Those chemicals can be really strong. You're not even really supposed to breathe them in. So if you're addicted to Brazilian blowouts and you love pin straight hair, if you have really curly hair and it's frizzy and you want to smooth it out, try switching to keratin treatments. Keratin treatments are a little bit more natural than the Brazilian blowout will be. Plus, there's tons of really great shampoos and conditioners out there that actually contain keratin that can help to rebuild your hair. Now, the next one, we are talking about overwashing your hair. Now, I know a lot of you feel like your hair is dirty, and the minute you feel like your hair is dirty, you want to wash it, but the more you wash your hair, the more you're stripping your scalp of those natural oils that are there to protect your hair. So try to let your hair air dry as much as possible. Maybe try to reduce your hair washing down to maybe 2 times a week or once a week, and invest in a really good shampoo that will be restorative, that says something like repairing, strengthening, or renewal. Those are going to be really great shampoos for you, especially if you have split ends. Now, if you have split ends, a tip is to rinse your hair with cold water at the very end of when you're washing it so that you're sealing the ends. Now we're going to talk about best practices when it comes to drying your hair with a towel. First thing that you want to do is ditch your towel. Terry cloth towels will actually cause a lot of friction when you have them in your hair to dry. So the best thing to use instead is a cotton t-shirt, believe it or not. That is going to fray your hair a lot less and cause much less damage. Another hack is do not rub your hair when you're drying it. You want to just instead blot it and blot the moisture out of it. Rubbing causes friction, and remember, friction causes breakage. So we want to make sure that we are being super gentle with our hair, especially when it's wet, because hair that is swollen with water is much more prone to breakage, which is why we also say to not comb your hair when it's wet. Now on to incorrect brushing and combing practices. Like I said, do not comb or brush your hair when it is wet. make sure you brush it before you get into the shower, and then afterwards wait until it's dry, or you can use a really wide tooth comb to just separate the sections and make sure that there aren't too many tangles. But be very, very gentle. And try to use a brush with natural bristles instead of synthetic ones. That will help to prevent your hair from breaking as well. All right, in this next tip, we're gonna talk about your hair elastics that you use. Hair elastics can actually be really damaging to your hair, especially when you're doing those really, really tight ponytails. I've said it time and time again, avoid those types of hairstyles because they can really cause a lot of stress to your hair follicles, because it's really pulling on the hair at the actual root. So try not to do too many of those hairstyles. But when it comes to an actual elastic that you want to use, you've probably seen those phone cord elastics that they basically look like they're an old phone cord. I had to go get mine to show you exactly what I was talking about. These guys right over here, these are so fantastic when it comes to keeping your hair like damage free when using elastics, because they're so gentle on your hair and they work really, really well. Even if you have super, super long, thick hair, I promise you these guys are amazing. If you were to use a traditional elastic, you'll see like the ponytail line. These don't do that as much. Now this next tip is something that I've been super guilty about, is not getting frequent hair trims. What you want to aim for is around the 8-week mark. Try to go every 8 to 10 weeks to get your hair trimmed, because if you have split ends at the bottom of your hair and you don't chop those off, they're more likely to fray even more. And you've probably noticed that. I'm sure you guys have all seen that before, but if you have a little, like one that's like really tiny at the end, little split end, and then you let it go, it will just keep going and growing and going up the length of your hair. So you want to make sure you're getting your hair trimmed at least every 8 to 10 weeks. Now, if you suffer from any sort of thyroid disorder, you're also more prone to hair breakage. So make sure you talk to your doctor and see if you can get on any sort of medication for that. Now we're down to the last couple of tips. So thank you so much for sticking around. These last ones are going to be really great. The first one we're going to talk about is your pillowcase. Now I know a lot of people don't think about pillowcase when it comes to hair breakage, but traditional pillowcases can cause a lot of friction when you're moving around at night when you're sleeping. So what you want to do is invest in a silk pillowcase instead. That will cause a lot less friction and keep your hair healthy and shiny and not damaged. Or if you want, instead of investing in a silk pillowcase, you can always invest in a silk scarf that you can wrap your hair in while you're sleeping. Okay, in this last tip, we are going to talk about your shower head and investing in a shower head filter. This, guys, can be such a game changer, because if you are exposing your hair and washing it with hard water, this will cause a lot of damage to your hair. Hard water contains a lot of minerals and heavy metals. And so what that can do is it can really dry out your hair. It can cause a lot of cuticle damage, give you high porosity, and weaken your hair. Now, all of that combined is obviously going to make you more prone to breakage. So using a filter for your shower head can prevent all of that from happening and leave your hair really strong and soft and shiny. So the first step that you can do is actually find out if you have hard water in your home, and then invest in a really good shower head filter. They range in price from $30 to $100. I'll link a really good one down below for you guys so you guys can check that out. Now that brings us to the end of our video. If you have any tips to add yourself, please let us know in the comments. That will really help everybody in this community. And if you have any requests for videos, please let me know in the comments as well. If you want to reach out to me, you can always DM me on Instagram, and I will see you in a little while with another video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See ya.